Why did Jikook go live together again after so long? And why on this particular night? What were they trying to tell us without saying a word? Watch the full 14 July 2025. Live and decide for yourself. Are we witnessing a turning point in BTS history? Don't scroll. Don't blink. Read until the end. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if this shook your army soul. What if everything changed in just one night? What if the silence was broken not with words, but with glances, laughs, and a live that no one saw coming, but everyone had been praying for? On July 14th, 2025, the world shifted on its axis for ARMY when Jimin and Jungkook, yes, Jikook, finally went live together again after what felt like an eternity. The internet didn't just break, it erupted into flames. For months, whispers filled the fandom. Where's Jikook? Why the distance? Was it schedules, personal space, or something far deeper? Fans had speculated endlessly, with theories blossoming into a forest of unanswered questions. But then, without any warning, without a single teaser or hint from Hybe, a notification lit up screens across the globe. Jikook is live. And just like that, we were back in their world. The moment the screen flickered on, time stopped. Jimin, soft-eyed and radiant, was sitting beside Jungkook, who looked both calm and mischievous. There was a stillness between them, not of awkwardness, but of history, shared, quiet and unspoken, the kind that doesn't need words to fill it. It was like watching two people pick up a conversation they never really ended. But why now? Why July 14? Was it a coded message, a memory, or simply a crack in the dam of restraint they had both held for so long? The live wasn't a performance, it was a revelation. Within the first 5 seconds, over 3 million viewers had tuned in. The comments exploded like fireworks, many simply typing in disbelief, Jikook? Live? Together? The emotion was raw. Some fans cried, others screamed. Most just stared, clutching their phones as if afraid the moment would vanish. They didn't start with fanfare. No dramatic announcement. No practiced lines. Just Jimin gently laughing at something Jungkook said in a low voice, and that was enough. That laugh held months, even years of longing. That laugh was the answer to thousands of fanfics, theories, and sleepless nights. Jungkook, ever the observer, kept glancing at Jimin. Not the kind of glance that passes over someone, but the kind that lands and lingers. Jimin, aware but unfazed, would sometimes return the look with that knowing, half-shy smile. It was electric. It was familiar. It was everything ARMY had missed. The topics? They talked about nothing and everything. How their days had been, what they were eating, silly inside jokes no one outside of BTS would understand. But woven between the words were pauses. Pauses that said more than any sentence ever could. They teased each other, but it wasn't just banter. It was comfort. It was history. It was two souls remembering how good it felt to exist in the same space again, unfiltered and unguarded. Jungkook at one point reached over and fixed a strand of Jimin's hair. The gesture was so subtle, yet it hit ARMY like thunder. He still remembers every little thing, fans whispered. And when Jimin softly thanked him, the chat blew up. The tension, the care. He never stopped looking at him like that. But was this just nostalgia? Or was it a silent message to the world? Because if you looked closely, there was something else, something more intimate. A shared silence when a question from a fan was read. Aloud, when will Jikook travel together again? Jungkook laughed it off. Jimin turned away to hide a smile. But neither said no. Neither denied it. Could this be a soft confirmation of upcoming plans? A hint that something bigger, perhaps a reunion, perhaps a project, is on the horizon? The room they were in was dimly lit, cozy, private. This wasn't a staged live. This wasn't orchestrated by the label. It felt raw, unfiltered, personal. Like two people decided to break the fourth wall and let us in, not as fans, but as witnesses to something real. And then the music. Soft background notes from Jungkook's playlist. One song caught attention, one that ARMY had long associated with them. Jimin hummed along, eyes closed for a second too long. Jungkook watched him again. The comments raged. He looks at him like he's the melody. Even their silences were loud. At one point, a sound echoed, a chime, a vibration. Both looked at each other quickly, startled. Then they smiled. Was it a text? A message from another member? Was someone watching them too, silently supporting from afar? The live lasted only 28 minutes and 14 seconds. But in those minutes, Jikook didn't just entertain. They healed. They awakened something that had been dormant. A connection we feared was gone, now reignited without a single script or press release. When the live ended, Jimin gave a small wave. Jungkook leaned in and said, almost inaudibly, "Thanks for watching." But it felt like more. It felt like, "We missed you too." The screen went black. And yet, the echo of their laughter remained in every army's heart. Now fans are dissecting every frame, every glance, every word. Theories abound. Did Jimin visit Jungkook's home? Was this live a test before something official drops? Are they hinting at a subunit return? Or was it simply two friends reminding us that no time, no distance, and no silence can sever a bond this deep? July 14th, 2025 is now etched in Army history, not for an album, not for a performance, but for a moment of truth. A moment where the past and present collided in 28 unforgettable minutes. So what do you think Jikook was trying to say? Drop your theories, rewatch the live, screenshot the glances, but most importantly, don't stay silent. As the live replays in our minds like a dream too vivid to forget, the aftermath begins to ripple across every corner of social media. Within hours, Jikook Live and They're Back were trending in over 60 countries. Fan edits flooded TikTok and Instagram. Reactions poured in from YouTubers and streamers. And compilation clips dissected every frame of their interaction. Every blink, every breath, every shared smile became evidence in what fans are now calling the Great Jikook Revival. Some were quick to notice the date itself. July 14th, a date that doesn't seem arbitrary at all. Longtime armies will remember past moments tied to this day. Whether intentional or not, it felt symbolic, almost poetic, like they had chosen the day to speak without words. A full circle moment, a signal that they remember, and they know that we remember too. And what about the mood of the live? It wasn't just playful. It wasn't just casual. It was emotionally thick. You could feel the weight of time between them. But instead of bitterness or distance, there was healing, maturity, and quiet affection. It wasn't a grand reunion. It was an intimate reconnection. Some fans pointed out how Jungkook seemed to sit a little closer than usual, how Jimin's voice softened whenever he addressed him, and how, for the first time in a long time, it felt like they weren't hiding anything. Maybe they never were. Maybe the space they took was necessary. And this live was a sign of peace, of growth, not just between them, but within themselves. The questions, though, refused to die down. Was this live a standalone moment, or is it the opening act to something bigger? Rumors are already flying. A potential duet? A subunit comeback? A surprise V-Live series with just the two of them? Or, more cryptically, a sign that BTS members are slowly reassembling in spirit, even if not yet in performance? Could this mean we're approaching the dawn of a new BTS era? And then there's the symbolism. The playlist Jungkook played during the live wasn't random. Fans with eagle ears recognized some of the tracks. Songs they had spoken about in past interviews. Tracks that held hidden meanings, memories, emotions. Was the music a message? Was this their way of communicating something deeper? And what about their outfits? Jimin wore a simple, oversized cream hoodie. And Jungkook sported a black tee with the word "Remember" subtly printed across the sleeve. Accidental or intentional? Armies have long believed in the power of BTS fashion as silent language. And this time, they're paying attention to every thread. One fan tweeted, "It's not just the live. It's the silence before it. It's the softness during it. It's the storm that followed." Jikook didn't come to entertain. They came to remind us. The tweet garnered over 700K likes in a few hours. And they're not wrong. Because after the live ended, something strange happened. A stillness washed over the fandom, not of confusion, but of collective breath.